you'll have CRA agents in disguise showing up to your restaurant, taking on a full order on some CIA type thing to kind of like see if there's anything fishy going on with your operations. That's complete facts.
Mystery shopping. Don't be surprised if the CRA agents show up at your restaurant or other small business in disguise to eat a meal with the intention of rooting out suspicious financial behavior. The agents could pose as a couple out for a meal to see how your business works and what the count is for people frequenting your business to ensure it is aligned with what you have reported in previous tax returns. It's a big job, and I think they will subcontract a lot of this out in the future. What does all this mean? That the shift of responsibility is really shifting to the taxpayer and not the tax collector.
It was always on the taxpayer. First of all, great edits. Great video by Tax Mechanic. I've seen a couple of his vids before. He's pretty decent. Shout out to the Blue Jays, man. Tough loss as well. But the shift of responsibility, I don't know. I feel like it was always on the taxpayer. What he's saying about, you'll have CRA agents in disguise showing up to your restaurant, taking on a full order on some CIA type thing to kind of like see if there's anything fishy going on with your operations. That's complete facts. To go even further, when it comes to content creators, it's a lot easier, right? Because you don't have to go into a physical store, physical restaurant to perform this. You just lurk on social media, right? So CRA agents, probably IRS agents as well, especially when there's like an ongoing dispute going on, best believe that they're lurking on your social media, seeing what you're doing day to day. And then they're going to use that if you are claiming something. I don't know if you're underreporting a certain amount of income, or if you are claiming that a trip was for business, and then they're seeing like a story for 3 consecutive days of you not being there for business. They are able to use it as evidence. That's why it's so important when the gentleman is saying, hey, like the responsibility is always on a taxpayer to prove. It's called the burden of proof, and it always is on a taxpayer to prove it. And especially for content creators, it is so important. I want to leave you guys with 3 general but very specific tips for content creators in terms of making sure that the burden of proof is always taken care of when it comes to you and your business. Now, number 1, the main thing is, on one side, content creation can be used as evidence by the IRS and the CRA, but on the opposite of that is also true. You can use your content as evidence as well. So supplementary evidence, supplementary documentation can come from the use of social media. If you are claiming to be on a business trip here and there, make sure you document it in a certain way. So if there's a mastermind, make sure that you're capturing it on video. I don't know if you're vlogging it or even just taking a story the day of and posting it. That can be supplementary evidence. Not calling it primary, because they're still going to want to see receipts for the expenses spent on the mastermind and anything else. But in terms of supplementary evidence, that content can also be used in your favor in a court case. That's number 1. Number 2, make sure that when it comes to the burden of proof, you have your statements in check, your books in check, because a write-off by definition is just you claiming an expense on your profit and loss statement through bookkeeping. So make sure that your books are in order. All of your expenses are linked to a receipt in case they knock on your door for an audit. You are prepared. Number 3, and number 3 is going to be very specific to content creators, especially because, when it comes to taking business trips, it can be kind of a gray area, or things such as cars, like the use of cars can be also a gray area for content creators. Make sure that you have supplementary evidence and supplementary tracking for those deductions. When it comes to cars, you're going to need to track your mileage. All right. There are applications that do this. You don't have to spend an extra amount of time doing this. That's why it's so easy to do. And yet a lot of creators are too afraid to start because they think it's going to take too much time. I guarantee you a few people on the other side of the screen are currently watching through an iPhone. And as you know, iPhones have this feature where when you get into a car and you start driving mode is enabled and you can no longer kind of receive text or answer text messages. Tracking mileage will work the exact same way. You don't lift a finger, but your device is able to track these mileages and record them for you on your bookkeeping software. So make sure that if you're using a car for business or you plan to claim mileage or the actual cost of the car and the maintenance and all associated expenses, make sure that you're tracking that mileage. And for my people taking business trips, we're making sure that we're tracking the amount of days that are actually there for business, making sure that it's over 50% for business. We're making sure that any associated expense to the trip, so lodging, so hotels, B&Bs, flights, commuting, Ubers, etc., we're making sure that we're capturing all of these receipts. And for meals specifically, we're making sure that we're not just capturing and keeping the receipt, but also documenting the who, what, and where of the meal. So who was with you, when it was, the receipt will usually have that, but what business was discussed. So you want to be able to share a story with the CRA or the IRS if they knock of what the business meeting or the business meal, what was discussed during it. So you want to say, if I'm meeting with a creator that I plan on collaborating with, I'll be like, hey, so-and-so met with so-and-so to discuss plans of a collaboration on Twitch on December 25th, like a whole Christmas Day stream, yada, yada, yada. We determined the budgeting, the cost, who to hire for the production of that event, and then we parted ways with a to-do list of what to discuss next. So something like that you can have for all of these business meetings and business meals will make sure that you audit proof your business as a content creator. We went a little bit off track from the original video, but overall the VAR verdict on his video, we agree with it. Totally facts. CRA, IRS agents, they think about it. Like, our revenue is their bag, is how they get their bag. So they're definitely going to go in extreme routes, such as showing up to your restaurant or lurking on your social media to confirm that what you're reporting is true. So yeah, VAR verdict, we agree with the on-field decision. If you guys want to see more videos like this, leave a comment down below. Let me know. Tag me in some videos you want me to react to. And if we're meeting for the first time, my name is Ronnie Foguin, Canadian US CPA. I'ma see y'all in the next video.